share my screen. I have a small presentation. If you can give me a few minutes.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Okay, 1 minute. I think I did a mistake. Yeah, okay. I hope everyone can see my screen now.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, okay. So, as I said before, my name is Berthine Mpinda. I'm a master student at the African Masters of Machine Intelligence. And today I'm going to share my data science journey from and the experience that I have as a data science. So to begin, this is me, and I have a background in applied mathematics, and I completed a bachelor degree in applied mathematics at the University of Kinshasa in DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. And after that, I got an opportunity, a scholarship to do a master degree in mathematical science between the Stellenbosch University and the African Institute for Mathematical Science, like the M South Africa. And after that, I got also another opportunity to do a business management school. And that one was also a scholarship between South Africa and the ESMT Berlin. And after that, I went back home to do internship. Then I got also accepted for the master program, the machine learning program, where I'm not here in Ghana, where I'm completing my African Masters of Machine Intelligence. So this is my journey with my background in mathematics. So I will just share my journey, how I moved from mathematics background to be a data science, like to do machine learning and all of that. So, according to the work experience, I don't have a lot of experience. What I have is this teaching assistant. So, after finishing completing my bachelor degree at the University of Kinshasa, I got accepted for this position as a teaching assistant. So, I was just helping students to solve practical questions according to some courses in mathematics and also teaching programming in Python. And that's one of the experience. It was like 1 year that I did this work. And after that, I went to South Africa for my master's and the business school management, where when I finished, I went back home, DRC. I did my internship at MKF Consulting. The MKF Consulting is a company that is more helping clients like others company to get strategy about selling, to develop some software to help companies to sell their product. And yeah, that was one of my experience at as intern at MKF. And also one of the experience is the volunteer experience. Usually as a mathematician and a woman, I like more to help young generation. That's why when there's something that's related to help young generation to understand mathematics, science, I'm always involved. That's why I'm working with women promoting science to young generation, where we are helping young generation to get involved in science to follow the career in STEM. And recently we organized a workshop to teach some basics in Python, and I was one of the TA. And also, the Women in Machine Learning is a big platform for machine learning. I'm part of this organization, where I'm also helping the organizer, like to when we have a workshop, I'm there to facilitate the work session and all of that. And also the STEM DRC initiative is also is just for young generation. I'm also there to helping young students in their research, to mentor them about mathematics, science, and about like to give them some advice about their career. So that's about my work experience so far. And now, so I'm now trying to explain my data science journey. So basically, I have a background in mathematics, and for my university, I did all the course was more pure mathematics and applied mathematics. I didn't do more course about this data science. And but it was one of the like is what I wanted to do in the future, but I didn't know how like to start, because from my university, like all the professor was more not involved in this, they don't have experience in this area, and it was for me difficult. One of the things that when I was supposed to do my a final project at the university, I was supposed to get data to do some data analysis, but it was so difficult for me to get the data and to do all those stuff. And so by God's grace, I got the scholarship to go to South Africa to do my master's. And it is from there that I got introduced. I I start like learning about data science, and also they introduce us about the machine learning and AI and all those stuff, how they're related. And it was for me a good experience, because when we did the data science course, at the end of the course, they asked us to do a competition. It was a Zindi competition. So they give us the problem to have to get to start to do something to propose the model, machine learning model. Uh, uh, it was a machine learning model to predict some tickets, yeah, bus tickets, something like that. So at the beginning, it was challenging, because we didn't know how the competition it works, all those stuff, but they just tell us, okay, you have to do. But by the help of others, that's the one that have more experience, they help us to do something. And the project was more interesting for me. I said that, okay, I think that I found what I want to do in the future. And I start learning to learn on like I'd start learning some course online, the free courses on Coursera, like to know if I would like how to become a data science. If I want to become a data science as a mathematician, what can I do? And that's the path that I follow. And I found to myself today doing a big project in machine learning, and all the experience that I have is like using this path. So I had like, okay, when I went follow the online advice, okay, they tell me that I have to know some probabilities, statistics, and linear algebra. So for me, it was okay because I had a background in mathematics. So what I did, I started improving my programming skills. So since I was more working with Python, I tried to improve my Python skills, programming with Python and R. This Python is a good language. It's simple and easy to learn. Now I try to do more exercise to know the package used for data science, to manipulate data and all those stuff. And also in R, I try also to do some exercise to know, because okay, it's the Python that I used more. But this Python, I want also to know because maybe I will go somewhere and I'm not using Python. So how can I survive? That's why I use also R. So now some people, so GitHub accounts also is one of the more, is also important for a data science. If you want to do your career, you have to save some code that you are doing, your project, you have to, you have somewhere like an account where we can save your projects. So your GitHub account also is important because there are some people, they have their codes also. You can follow them using the GitHub account, see what they're doing, and also learn from them. So that's also one of the most important, that you can have your GitHub account. And now we can move to the free courses about data science and machine learning. So I can say it's one of the things that helped me too much, because when I started like the course before to join the army program, I didn't have like a lot of course in this data science and machine learning. People were just talking, but not someone to introduce me like formally. So what I decided to do a formal introduction to data science and machine learning on Coursera. And after that, when I started this program, the army program, I did a lot of course on Coursera, mathematics for machine learning, deep learning, neural network, everything. So I try to, all those stuff helped me a lot, because when we are doing the online course, there's some exercise, some projects, like okay, you can work and you have time to practice a lot, to have more explanation and another view, like the one that the way they are teaching is more easy to understand than when we are doing some course in class. So that one helped me a lot. So also there are different websites for data science, such as this Kaggle, what again? Yeah, it's there's Kaggle and other the websites. So what I did, like Kaggle has a lot of different data sets. So what I did with Kaggle, it was I was when I learned one algorithm in class, what I was trying to do is using different type of data. I can go to Google, to Kaggle, downloading data and use the algorithm that we learn in class. And that one also helped me. And there's some competition that is passed already. You can learn, get the notebook from there, try to see what people did, and maybe try to improve, to change the method. Maybe it's a classification. Someone used logistic regression. So me, I can take the same problem, maybe use SVM and see how I can improve the result. So that's the also important for a data science journey. And also another point is the competitions. We know like Kaggle and Zindi, like personally Zindi is for African. It's a data science platform for competition. It's also more, it's also helpful. So when you have more confidence, you have your skills, programming skills, you follow some course, you did some experimentation with different type of data. And why not test your skills in competition, like like to get registered for a competition? It's also helpful because like for this competition, they are more using real data, and you can see how you can use different type of techniques to get a good score and to improve your skills, to test how good you are. Yeah, and also it's also where you can also gain money, because at the end of the competition, if you win the competition, you can get some money. So that's like all of my the journey what I did during my 1 year experience as a data science. So I did all those stuff. They in the competition, the Kaggle competition. I did did some projects. It was more in class competition, Kaggle in class. But for the Zindi one, it was I also participated. It was the Umoja Ghana competition. So I was part of the competition. I didn't win, but I was like at good position, like top five. So that was a good experience to see how I can use my skills to solve a real world problem. So there's like I didn't cite all of them, but I think this one is like what me I use, and today I'm feel more comfortable about my data science, and I'm ready to work in a company because I follow this path and I feel more comfortable. I think this one will help you also so much. So now this is about my journey, and the last thing is I will talk a little bit about my project. So because we are almost at the end of the program, and we are supposed to submit a final project, and I had a background in mathematics, and in South Africa I did a project in finance. So when I applied for this program, okay, my objective was to continue to use machine learning in finance, to see how I can use machine learning to improve some numerical methods, simulation method used before statistical method used in finance. So here I'm working on this project, accuracies of model risk in finance using machine learning. Basically in finance, there's a different type of risk, and every day they're facing this type of risk. We have the credit risk, a credit risk, market risk, liquidity risk, and operational risk. So all those risks are more important. It's more important for a financial institution to manage them, to know exactly what to expect. So to avoid this kind of risk that it can lead to a big loss in a company, maybe you can yeah, if it's a big loss, you can close your company, you cannot continue. So it's a good, like it's a more important for financial risk, for financial institutions to manage risk. So what I'm doing in my project is trying to propose machine learning model and deep learning model that can be used in finance, by financial institution to mitigate risk. It means that when we are in a company, maybe a bank, for example, we know like, okay, we will face this kind of risk. When I identify my risk, I can measure them. So this measure, I can use machine learning model to measure risk, to know exactly how like the kind of risk that I will face, and to to measure them. And also I can examine my solution. So using my machine learning, I will examine the solution, and when I examine it, I will implement. After implementing that, also kind of, so how good, when you implement your model, how good are you sure that this model would work? How good are you sure that this model will improve your business model? So what we are trying to do is we will implement the model, and now to after to implement those machine learning and deep learning model, we will now compare the accuracies and the performance of the model to see how good the model is, how good it can perform and give like the good results, like to avoid a financial institution like bank to lose money in the future. So that is one. That is the purpose of our my work, my project, my final project. Based like, well, as I say, we have different type of risk. But in my project, I will not use the model for all of this risk, but I will be more focused on operational risk, where I will find a way to do machine learning to detect fraud risk, and also in liquidity risk, how can we get accessibility to get asset liquidity and this funding liquidity. So there are different type of method I will use, different type of machine learning model, and at the end compare the accuracies to see which one is more important or is more efficient to use in the company. So that's all about my project, and also it's the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for your attention, and this is my, so you can, if you can send me an email using this one, my Twitter handle, LinkedIn, I have a website, and also my GitHub account. So thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you so much for sharing this insightful presentation with us, Berthine. I would ask a few questions before I open up for questions from the audience or the learning. You've mentioned about four financial risk analysis that you undertake. One is um, credit risk, operational risk, market risk. Which one is the last, the fourth one?
The last one is the operational risk.
Yeah, so operational risk, market risk, credit risk, and then which one
Liquidity.
is the last?
Yes, liquidity
Liquidity.
risk.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. All right. Great. So, like you mentioned, I saw you listed your background is mathematics. And how easy was it
Oh,
for
yes.
you to, yeah, how easy was it for you to start learning how to code in Python before learning other um, coding with R and other things? How easy was it for you?
Okay. So I can say the beginning was not, it was not easy. Yeah, it was not easy because like during my undergraduate, we didn't do more course in in coding, so it was more mathematics. And what I did before to the end of my undergraduate, I found how important to learn how to the coding part was important for a mathematician. What I did, I started learning myself, downloading some books, and start practicing myself at home. That's what I did. And now when I finished I completed my bachelor degree, because I have I have experience with Python. I got the opportunity to also to assist students, the one that's learning coding, how to do some coding parts with Python, and also it was a good opportunity for me to learn at that time. So since I was in charge to help students with Python, and I also learn in the same time, and but I improve it more when I went to South Africa. Yeah, when I went to South Africa, I meet a lot of people and with different background like computer science, and there was more uh, involved in this coding. I got the opportunity to learn also and to improve my coding skills. Yeah.
Great. So you would you say that it took you less than a year to learn how to code?
Uh, like okay, I can say one here. I can say one here because the beginning, okay, I can say it was not more difficult because it was just the small function, how to write a loop, how to write this a function and this small stuff. But now to involve like to solve like big algorithm and this thing, so I think one here.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Great. So I would open up. I'll come back again with some questions, but I'll open up now for my learners to share whatever they want to share, or if they ask questions. So if you have any
Okay.
questions, please unmute your mic and then speak. The time will be willing to hear from you. She's a black in AI and supporting machine learning. So the questions should start coming. Gerard, I remember you wanted to ask something related to data science. Can you have the opportunity now to ask?
Yeah, I thought about it. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Gerard.
Okay, hi, Ja.
Yeah, yeah. Then I'm not sure the button will be like the right audience because the question was uh, when you go to work, you see in 10 Academy, we are learning algorithms, we are learning Python, we are like trying out different algorithms every day or like doing a visualization and you're done. When you get to in a job perspective, what will you be doing? Because that's I just used to you build a model and that is it. So we don't know like how it happens, the role of a data scientist in a when you're employed. So like what will you be doing every day? You can build the model on the first day and you're done on like on the first week or the first month, and then what else will you be doing the rest of the time? So that was the question that I had last time.
Yeah, okay. Uh, for what I can say is that okay, what we are learning, like for example, what you are learning now, doing this Python and the algorithm is not bad. It's a good start because this algorithm is helping you to get uh, how can I say it, to get the logic, to know how in this kind or to manipulate data, to know in this kind of problem, if I want to get this, how can I proceed? That is it. So now when we are going to the company, it depends now of what you want trying to solve. It if it's a big company that are building models every day, yeah, you can do it. At the first day, you can do the model. Otherwise, you can start from okay, and also this also is helping you because when we are in a company, it depends of the problem. Maybe they, there are some codes, some building function that are already there in PyTorch and all those stuff. Maybe they are not efficient in what you want to solve as a problem. So what you read, this algorithm, the algorithm background that you have, this experience will help you to change me the algorithm. Like, okay, I want to know this task. You can start coding your own algorithm from scratch. You know that at this point I want it to do this, I want it to do this. What is different is what is already there in it was already there in like it's a package that you can import easily, but it's not doing what you want to do. So this coding, the algorithm and all those stuff are more important. It will help you to to build your own algorithm from scratch and to do a lot of stuff. And for the company, the model, I think what I can say, it depends of the company that you are going on. At the beginning, you can just be there doing the small stuff, and after you start doing like a big, like to build the big models and it's so on. So I don't know if I answer your question. Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate the answer. I'm now like the
Yeah.
part of where we have to like once you understand the algorithms, it's true. You can have now you can try to make it meet something specific that you actually really want. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. You're welcome.
Great. So there is a question in the chat box. Patrick
Uh,
is asking, I'm quite excited about the application of machine learning in finance. Can you advise me on how to build a machine learning career focused on finance? What courses should I take? What certification? What part of machine learning should I focus more on? So if you can break it down. Yeah.
okay. So about this question, yeah, it's so. Oh yeah, yes. The machine learning has a lot of applications in finance. We can see the risk management. We this the NLP, like to build a chatbot that can help companies to chat with clients. It's one of the application. The fraud detection, credit risk, credit risk. There's a lot of applications. So for you to start, okay, can you advise me how to build focus in finance? Okay, so for you to do to build your career in finance using machine learning, it depends of what you want to do. If you want to do fraud detection, there's a way that you can start just doing things related to security, fraud detection in financial institutions. Maybe if you want to build a model that will help customer to to build a chatbot for a bank, a institution, a financial company. So that also is one of it's also a good career. We can combine NLP and finance, and that's also one of the good application. Also for the course, there's a lot of course online, introduction to finance and machine learning, how to, yeah, like I did one course on Coursera, was introduction to finance in introduction to machine learning in finance, where they explain the kind of algorithm used in finance using machine learning. And yeah, and also at the end you'll get a certificate. That's also good for a beginner. And yeah, so that is it. And what you can more focus. Okay, it depends. If you have already a good background in finance, for example, you have a good background in finance and you know how to code, you can just start reading this machine learning algorithm. Otherwise, if you don't have a background in finance, you have to read some course in finance also, because what we are trying to do now is trying to link. There's already the people like financial, there's some a theory for finance like that. You have to respect, even when you are building a machine learning model, when you are building your data science, you have to respect that thing. So what you have to have also this idea, like how financial institutions work, what they're trying to do, what they don't like. So now you can now try to build like a correlation between this theory and the practice of machine learning. So this one will be good enough. Also, probability and statistics is more important for when you are doing finance and machine learning. I hope I answer your question, Patrick.
Yes, I hope so too. I think you were very detailed in your submission, so I
Yeah.
think should say thank
Yeah.
you, like
Okay.
you said. Okay, so another question from Kevin. Kevin is asking, how did you acquire the scholarship to study postgraduate in South Africa, and what are the requirements for the same?
Okay, for the scholarship to study in South Africa, as I said before, it was a scholarship given by African Institute of Mathematical Science, the EMS South Africa. So I just applied, like normal application. I just submit my motivation letter and my transcripts and answer some questions. And after that, they just select me. I think it was just based on my transcript and my motivation letter. That's why they selected me. When I went there, okay, it was more challenging for me because I'm from a French country and I was supposed to study in English, so it was not obvious. The beginning was so difficult. So, but by good grace, I tried to manage to learn English, to do my, yeah, to do the course in English from the beginning and write my project. So it was, yeah, so interesting. And for the requirement, there's no more requirement for this scholarship. So there's no more requirement. When you have just what I can just uh, tell you, the requirement is your motivation letter. That's the most important. So when you are writing your motivation letter, you have to say what you want to do this program, how good it will help you in your skills, it will help you in the future, and also how it can help your community, your own country. So like it is the most important thing that with this scholarship, they want to help you to learn this machine learning, mathematics, everything. But they want you, when you get that degree, to go back to your country, try to also to help young generation, to involve them in STEM and everything. So what I can say is the motivation letter. That's the most important. Even for AIMS program, like if you want to do mathematics, even when you want to do machine learning, so you have to write, like to have a good motivation letter. It helps, yeah.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
think Kevin should get the whole understanding about how to get a scholarship to study in South Africa, any of the machine learning course. So my other question is, while I still wait for more questions, what are some of the challenges you faced as a woman in STEM, charting this path? What were some of the barriers that you encountered starting off, and how did you overcome them?
Oh, okay. Uh, so for sure it's so challenging. Yeah, from my university it was not easy, because like in my country it's so difficult, like it's difficult to find ladies doing mathematics, for example. And when I start my journey, it was so difficult for me, like for people to understand that I was able to do mathematics, and people were not able to to understand me that it was something normal that I can do. Mathematics is normal for ladies, and it was just okay. There was more saying that this thing is for men, and it looked like we are lost. But what I did, I got also motivation from my family and some friends, yeah, friends and friends. They were there to support me, to say, okay, you have to keep pushing and everything. And when I went to South Africa, this is where that I found myself, like I find it more interesting, and it was not more stressful, because at there I found like different women coming from different countries, the professor and researcher, like women, and we had a community to support women that are doing science, and it was so helpful for me. That's what helped me to improve my skills, to be proud of myself and what I'm doing. Yeah.
Great. Thank you for that. Gerard, please unmute and ask your question.
Yeah, my question is, for example, on my side, and
Yes.
I think it applies to most people,
Yeah.
mathematics is not easy. So, like sometimes, even in class, we are using a particular algorithm, but now we have the implementation already in Python or some other program. So we just download the library and use it. So how did you manage to like study and actually understand the workings behind your algorithm? How do you manage to do that? Then with time, you've studied different algorithms. So how do you
Yeah.
manage that?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's a good question. So basically, in this program, the Army program, it's more what we did. We try, like it's more, the training is more to know more what's going beyond this algorithm. It's not just you come in class, maybe the professor is coming and say that you have to download everything, okay, importing from Keras or PyTorch. No, what we are trying to do, we start from the beginning, like all the mathematics behind. And when you understand the mathematics behind, they ask you to code that algorithm from scratch. You are doing everything, like not to import, but to write it yourself from the beginning, and use some data to solve okay, use the data also to get the result. And at the end, they will ask you, maybe to get, like, to be sure that your result is good, you can now download the import that one from maybe KRAS and see how the result. Sometimes it happens that what you implement yourself is giving good results than the one that you import. So this program is helping us to know all the things that are behind the program, because we don't have only this machine learning program, but we have also mathematics, and we know machine learning is based in mathematics and statistics. So when we are coming, we start from the beginning to know all the mathematics behind how it works, how to improve it, and now we did the algorithm from scratch. Yeah, that's it.
Great, great. Miriam, Claire, Monole, and Elvis, do you have any questions? Even as we are looking forward to wrapping up, Rahel, if you have any questions, please unmute and then ask.
Prosper, let me just ask a last one.
Yeah.
So you said it took you about a year, and then coming from a mathematics background, then you had to go try those different
Yes.
online courses. So how were you able to stay consistent and motivated during that period? Until now, actually.
Okay. So what I can say, like the motivation is was like what I wanted to have as a knowledge at the end. So the course, like I know it's challenging because like all the course I didn't pay. It was just okay. I asked for financial support and they give me. I did the course. My motivation was more what I wanted at the end. So because I wanted to learn, and the motivation that at the end they will give me a certificate that is like showing that okay, I did this course, and also this the project that is the project, the final project about this course, online course. There's also at the end of each chapter, each part, there's a final project that is more practical. You have to think, try to solve like a good problem, like a practical problem. That's what was one of my motivation. And when I came here, we had like a group of students. So we give out like it was like kind of challenge to say that okay, maybe in 1 month we have to finish this course and this course, online course, and we can maybe sometime doing it together with friends. Okay, we can follow the course, but when it's coming to assignments and projects, we do it together with some of our colleagues. We did together, we solve the problem and we submit. At the end, you understand the course, you discuss with students, and you have your certificate. That was like that is the way that I proceed. Yeah, I realized that at the end I did more than like five courses. Yeah, I completed with a certificate. That was one of my approach. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, what I can say is that okay, so you know what you want, and also you can say you have a data science and everything. When they will call you for interview and this thing, it's also another problem. What is happening is what when you apply, they can select your CV. They say that your CV is impressive and everything. When it's coming now to do the interview and this stuff, if you are not able to do it, they will not pick you that okay, maybe you have a good background. No, that's one of the motivation that okay, when they call me maybe for interview and this thing, how can I define myself? How can I able to do something good? How can I like okay to do something? Because in the company, from my previous experience, when we are going to the company, they are not more about okay what you know, but what you can do. It's more important. So it's more important. It's not okay what you know, like okay, I have this, but how can you prove it? How your skills can solve a problem? That's so important. So that's why when you are learning, it's not just about job, but you have to be able to understand what you are doing, to do it much better, like for you to have a good position. want a good position at Google, this Facebook, that these people that are not joking. So you have to practice more and so on. Yeah. Prosper? Uh, okay, there's a question here uh, from Hacha. Hi, Hale. He's asking, how do you propose machine learning approach in companies living in in society where machine learning is not popular? Uh, Yeah, okay. So that it's one of the problem that we have here in Africa. It's not easy to be able to convince a company that is doing its own statistic stuff and got good result, and you want to to want to propose him this machine learning model. Yeah, it's more challenging, but I think what you can do is how to know how to convince. When you finish building your model, you can now evaluate, maybe by simulating data before to use it in real life. You can simulate data to show how good your model is, to see the performance. And now, if it's okay, yeah, I think that some people, they can give you that opportunity that, okay, let us use this model and see what will come to see the results. I think I know it's more challenging, like to use machine learning in some companies. It's so difficult. For example, in Africa, yeah. But for now, like, yeah, some people are they're trying to use it, the simple model and everything, to see how it works. Yeah, but I think with time, this thing, yeah, will go, like people will start using it in the companies and everything. So nothing is late for now. I think I answer your question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wow. Has the question been answered? Yeah, I think she said that. Berthine, I think you
Yes.
are you are very well versed with what you're learning right now.
Yeah.
And even as for me as a non-data scientist, I'm yet to venture into data science. Your basic concept of explaining your journey so far is quite motivating for anyone who might want to even venture into learning data science. My background is engineering,
Okay.
electrical engineering. I did a few coding, but that is more like C++, Java. Those are old codes. But
Yeah.
I currently want to venture into learning how to code with Python. So I'm just saying you were able to articulate your journey well, and I'm sure all the members on the call have really been blessed to have you join us now. So your last words to our learners as we look forward to having our conversation.
Yeah, okay. So thank you so much. I really like the session. So what I can say is that, so since you guys want to do to be a data science in the future, you are learning, so just keep pushing. Yeah, there's a different way that we can learn. It's more about motivation. If you are more motivation, you are motivated, nothing can stop you. There's a lot of strategy. Things are online to get started. Like they're doing a different. There's different course from zero to hero and all those stuff. You can learn. Is to practice more. If you have already your skills, just try to find like the way to improve it, to prove it more. Like for, okay, to improve your skills, to be able to solve, like start from somewhere, but you are going gradually better to solve the big problem. Why not to test your skills by using a competition? Competition is not okay about winning, but also you are learning. What's the more important? Oh, yeah, you are learning every day, and you will find one day say, okay, you have learned a lot, you have more experience, and you will not afraid to go anywhere when they will call you for interview, when they will call you maybe to apply for this big company, you will not be afraid at all. So that's one of my last words. Keep going. And so I share with you my email and everything. So what you can do, if you have any question, you can send me maybe your WhatsApp. You can follow me on Twitter. Just say 10 Academy, and I will remember that, okay, you are from here, and I can find a way to help you, maybe to suggest you some interesting course, maybe some to send you, suggest you some good repository on GitHub that you can start learning some libraries and everything. So I'm so happy, and it was my pleasure to share my experience with you. What I can wish you is all the best, and yeah, that is it.
Thank you very much for the time.
Yeah,
We
you're
hope to
welcome.
get in touch with you again.
Yes,
All right. So
yeah.
see you sometime soon. All right. Bye bye.
Okay, bye bye. Thank you.